Hello, and welcome to the Kosh. I'm your host, Timber Smith, and we got another great show this week. Super excited. How are my Kosh listeners out there doing? I don't know about you, but I don't know about this fall creeping up on us so doggone quickly. I mean, this fall, one day, I swear, I was out there. I wasn't wearing, just wearing shirts and ties, and it felt all nice and warm. And then, like, I swear there was a light switch, and the next thing I know, I got to pull out Scully's and pull the Columbia coat out. I don't know how I feel about Wisconsin. Why you do us so dirty? At least warm us into it. You just don't do us like that. All right, that's my quick rant to start us up with. I am so excited about who we have as a guest this week. You ready to get started, listeners? Here we go. This week's guest is Michael Bennett. Mike, how you doing over there?
Man, I'm good, Timber. How are you?
I'm doing really, really good. Feeling good. Happy as usual.
That's good to hear. Hey, on the weather thing, though, for you?
Yeah.
Man, that's like going on the highway and seeing the state patrol in between. You got to slam on those brakes. That's what Wisconsin does to us.
Bruh. I don't know about that, man. That makes me feel some kind of way, but you're right. Wisconsin does do it. It just treats us wrong. All of a sudden, boom. All right. Mike, can you share a little something about yourself and what is your connection to the Kosh?
Yeah. Well, I moved here when I was 12 years old, from Milwaukee originally, and just been born and raised, graduated from Oshkosh North. And in my late 20s, I started in the insurance industry, and I got more involved in the community. And I've been giving back ever since and really love volunteering and being a part of the community to help make it a better place. We have such a great community in Oshkosh and so many hidden things that people don't even know about with the volunteer groups and things like that. So, man, it's so much fun. But I still go back to Milwaukee to have fun in the big city too.
Hey, I'm with you. It's nice to have a fellow person from the mill on the show.
414.
414. If you know, you know. That makes me so happy. Shout out to Milwaukee, all my family and friends in Milwaukee. All right. You ready to jump into the first segment?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, first segment. What in the world is going on with? You start with that phrase and you tell us what's on your mind.
What in the world is going on with the Brewers? Let's go. Brewers. Oh, come on now.
Wait, don't we already, I don't follow baseball like that hard. I mean, Brewers, I got love for them because I'm from Milwaukee. I remember, back in the county stadium days, like my dad taking me there. So shout out to Pop. But didn't they make the playoffs? Aren't they in?
So we made the playoffs, but we haven't clinched the division. And, for 7 games, our number to clinch the division was only 3 games. And we kept losing against St. Louis 4 games straight. They just swept us in Milwaukee. So last night, we beat the Mets, and it puts us 2 games away from clinching the division, so we don't have to play through the wild card. So our goal is to get through the division because we don't want to play the Dodgers right out of the gate. We want to play them in the 3rd round.
I'm with you. Okay, so how much season is left?
There are 8 games, including tonight's game against the Mets. So we have 3 in St. Louis. We have tonight and tomorrow night against the Mets. Then we go to St. Louis for 3. And then we go to L.A. for the Dodgers for 3. So we got a brutal way to finish the season. Ooh. Like whoever created the schedule was laughing when they put us finishing the last six games against our nemesis.
They did us dirty.
Oh, totally dirty. Going to the West Coast in the last round, right before the playoffs? Come on. That ain't right.
It ain't right. All right. Well, let's go on and send them Bucks, or not the Bucks. Well, let's celebrate the Bucks, but send these Brewers some love.
There we go.
All right. So, what in the world is going on with Ludacris and Nelly coming to Oshkosh? Now, that may sound like I'm complaining, but I'm not. I've been waiting for this for almost 30 years.
They get lost?
Look, all I'm trying to say is that I am proud of the Kosh and the fact that we decided that we were not going to bring another old R&B act. Now I ain't blasting old R&B because I love old R&B. I got love. You know, I bought some tickets at the arena to go see like Gladys Knight and them.
That was a great show.
It was a fantastic show, and I was excited when we did that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I needed? I needed something
Yeah.
that I could vibe with on another level, you know, and this Ludacris and Nelly.
Man.
Yes.
But I hate to tell you,
What?
they're classified as old school.
Bruh.
Why you do me like that, Mike? Mike, why
Hey,
you do me like
That's
that?
my childhood, but it's truth.
It is. You know, I've realized what is now old school by what they play on holiday weekends when they call it old school weekend and they're playing all this stuff. And, you know, me and my wife both, and as we driving through, you know, places in the car and it's like old school weekend and we're jamming away and we're like, but it's old school weekend. We done became old school.
Hey, I think back to when I saw Ja Rule play at the Rave in Milwaukee. Now, that was a show. I was 6-7 rows back, center stage, standing. And if you've never been to the Rave, you got to get yourself tickets to the Rave in Milwaukee. Shout out to the Rave.
The
Let's
Rave is the truth.
go. Oh man, that place is legit. I mean, don't walk in there thinking it's going to be all fancy.
No.
It ain't. It's 150 years old or something like that. And
No.
they didn't fix it. But it's a great place to go see a show.
It's the real energy.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I hate to say this, but you know what the last thing I went and saw at the Rave was?
Don't say Stevie Nicks or something.
Diggable Planets.
What?
Do you even remember who Diggable Planets
No.
was? I'm cool like that. I get down like that.
Oh man.
Yes, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I need to find my way back to the Rave. Got to do this.
I remember when I was a kid, we were there for a breakdancing concert or contest. My cousin used to breakdance with NAD up in Milwaukee, and yeah, it was a good time.
Oh, I'm feeling that. Okay. We're going to move into segment 2. Segment 2 is word association. I'm going to throw some words at you, and you tell me what comes to mind.
Oh boy, this will be interesting.
It might be. All right. We always start off with the same 4 words, and then we finish off with 2 new words. All right. First word, food.
Pizza.
Pizza.
I'm lactose intolerant though, so I can't eat it very often.
Oh, that's horrible.
Bruh.
That's not even. Do they make like cheese with no lactose? Do they make pizza with cheese with no lactose?
They do. You don't eat it.
It ain't.
No, I eat pizza and I stay home.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Do you got a favorite pizza place here in the Kosh?
Yeah, Zeroni's.
Absolutely.
That's 100% my place.
Oh, ever since I used to like just going inside of there because I love the theme, the comic book theme. Shout out to Zeroni and the team and John Damel. I miss that. You know what? But really, I'm not gonna lie. When I went there, it wasn't necessarily for the pizza; it was for the Zuggets.
I go there. Here's the truth: because I'm lactose intolerant, I won't eat pizza there. I'll go take it home. But I go there. I used to go there for the chili.
Oh,
and I got a message this week personally from John, sending his condolences because unfortunately, due to everything going on, they had to cut out chili. So I'm still in a state of mourning. I haven't gotten through my 7 days of mourning through not having the chili. So I'm still in mourning of chili because Zeroni's had the #1 chili in the world. I don't care. Hey,
Yeah.
Fight me on it. Let's go. But
right.
yeah.
Okay. I've never had their chili, but it makes me curious. But I guess I'll never get to experience it.
Can't now.
Look, all right. Hey, you know what? Since we're going to send a shout out, since John was a past guest,
There you
maybe
go.
he'll hear us. John, I think Timber and Mike are asking for a special batch to be made.
I like it.
I need the opportunity to see how you rate with your chili, since Mike is up here up in your chili like that. I'm going to have to go ahead and just call it out. I need to taste it. I am a chili connoisseur and a small-time chili contest champion. I make good chili, man.
Oh, no. We got to put them side by side. I'll be the judge.
I'll tell you why we can't is because my chili specialty is a white chicken chili.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, it's different.
But I'm telling you right now, you don't get this good body by not eating a lot of chili.
Is that
I
what
eat a lot of chili.
Eating a lot of chili. Chili is one of these things that when I go to like a place and they got it, sometimes I just got to get a cup because I just want to know what's going on with people's chili because I'm always looking for ideas and inspiration for chili.
Well, and places typically only make it in the fall.
Right.
And John was that same way at Zeroni's until myself and another customer, good customers of his, really gave him a hard time about not having chili throughout the year. So he started making it year round based on us pushing him.
All right. So, Kosh listeners out there who are friends with John, send those messages and let him know. Go on, make that chili. We appreciate it. All right. Cocktail or beer?
Actually, I don't drink, so I'm going to say soda.
Soda.
Yeah, Mountain Dew.
Straight up Mountain Dew?
Straight up Mountain Dew.
I ain't mad at you for that. Hey, you know what Mountain Dew is? It's the non-coffee drinkers' coffee.
100% agree. I can't start my day without a kickstart, Mountain Dew kickstart.
Ooh, I like those.
That's my day.
That's your day?
Yeah, man.
I was walking into my workplace and one of our staff members who helped to maintain the establishment. I was asking them how their morning is because I always want to make sure I take time to acknowledge those that take care of our spaces because they make it right.
Right.
And so I was like, "How's your morning going?" They were like, "Just had my Mountain Dew, feeling good." I was like, "You don't do no coffee?" "Nope, Mountain Dew." And I was like, "Yep, that's." For people who don't drink coffee, it's the non-coffee drinkers caffeine kick in the morning.
100% agree. That's spot on with your definition because that is. I've never drank coffee, don't care for the smell or taste of it, and yeah, Mountain Dew is the way I go.
I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have never became a coffee drinker if it wasn't for the military. Military got me messed up because there's, and then you don't even drink normal coffee. You drink this sludge. You drink this stuff that we like to refer to as Army coffee. That's blacker than night and almost a little syrupy. And you throw some grounds in it. And for all my vets out there, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
that stuff will keep you up.
Well, hey, I'm telling you right now, within our care packages, the number one thing we get asked for are K-cups, so they can put them in because now they have, the Keurigs and stuff like that when you're at the bases or at, the establishment. So they ask for the K-cups for our care packages. So we're sending them some real coffee at least.
I like that.
When they're in the base, let's be honest.
Fair.
Bruh.
All right. Netflix.
Kill a day or week. I mean, binge watch the shows. I get, I'll jump on Netflix when I got nothing going on for a little bit. And next thing I know, it's 4 a.m. And I started at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Anything we're watching in particular? What are we watching?
I typically go after the medieval Gothic type shows. Can't think of any titles off the top of my head at the moment, but some of those fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings type spinoffs. There's a lot of them out there. And they typically land on Netflix.
Okay. I love that stuff, but I haven't watched any of that stuff in a really, really long time.
Just clear a week away, though, because you'll get lost in it.
Because it's going to suck you in.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one episode. You watch a season, and then you watch another season. And it's like, what did I just do for the last week? Oh, I've been on my couch.
Yeah, I do try to be careful with Netflix because it'll get you. The last thing that really got me on Netflix to binge out was Tiger King. And I mean, you couldn't turn that off. That thing there was, that was the train wreck of Rex.
Never seen it. Won't watch it.
Don't do it.
I won't. My family used to own a private zoo, and my friends all called me when that came out. They're like, did you see this? I said, no. I said, I read enough about it. I won't do it.
Yeah, I'm with you then. Don't do it to yourself because it is on some stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Amazon.
It's how I shop. And I know I'm going to get hate for not shopping local. I shop local. I spend a lot of money local, but it's just so convenient. I'm on the go 12 to 16 hours a day. If I need something, I can be on my phone, click it, and when I get home the next day, it'll be there. My girlfriend hates it because, well, sometimes I order something. I'll give you an example. I just bought some new couch pillows, little squares. I was on Amazon. We were sitting watching TV, and I said, hey, I'm going to order these pillows. She's like, okay. I should have looked deeper into them. I just ordered the covers.
Oh.
So I got this package and it was like paper thin. I'm like, these ain't pillows. So she gives me a hard time about online shopping.
Bruh.
Yeah. No, I deserve that. I deserve that. I got to read the description a little bit more. But it's so convenient.
Yeah. And here's my thing. I shop local too. Because I love the Kosh and I want to support in as many ways as possible. So shout out to all our small businesses around the Kosh, and I want to talk about that a little more later too. But it is convenient.
Yeah,
you just can't And my main thing is sometimes I'm just trying not to forget.
Mm-hmm.
So I just
it's in the moment,
right? It's like, oh, I need these. Let me go on and just, and then it's we make things happen.
And the return, like people yell at me, they're like, "Oh, it's hard to return." It ain't hard to return at all, and they got good policies. So, I mean, yeah, that's just the way I shop.
All right, I'm feeling you on that one. Okay, service.
For me, I think of it in my terms of serving. So I'm a part of the Sons of American Legion, and it's my service to serve the vets, their families, and the active military right now. That's what I think of when I think of service.
I like that. What's going on with the Sons of the American Legion? And can you explain a little bit about what who they are?
Yeah, so the Sons of American Legion is a program within the American Legion. The American Legion is the largest veteran organization in the country. And the Sons are male descendants who did not serve. They are in the Sons of American Legion. So we're technically a program within the American Legion that was formed in 1932, and it is a national program throughout the country. I'm proud to be a part of that because, again, I didn't serve. My time, when I became 18, I had 3 paths. I had military, prison, or go sell something. And I started selling something. I started selling cars when I was 18 years old because, rightfully so, I knew I couldn't go military. I knew me. Right. I know my lane. I just know I couldn't do it. And shout out to all of my guys and all my friends and girls that are active military that I grew up with and went to school with because, man, you guys live it. But I knew I couldn't.
But something about the big brown round in your face kind of be like, maybe that's not for me.
Yeah. And so and option number 2, prison, man, I didn't want that either. So I went and sold some cars and made some money.
There's nothing attractive about incarceration.
No. So I've been volunteering and I've been a part of the American Legion since I was a kid because I'll call them my adopted parents. They kind of took me in. They've heavy in the American Legion. My adopted dad is a retired Marine during the Vietnam era.
Ooh.
And so I had that, figure in my life. The first time I ever met him, I was 12 years old. He's in all Marine sweats. And he's like, "Welcome to my house." I was dating his daughter at the time.
Oh. Well.
Bruh.
That had to be an experience.
It was. But thankfully, they took me in, and I've been a part of their family ever since. But yeah, so I've been volunteering with the American Legion and their programs since I was a kid. And fortunate for me, when I became an adult, I joined the Sons. My grandfather served in Korea, and my uncle served in Vietnam. So I'm very proud to serve for them and now serve for my friends who I grew up with, during the 9/11 era here. And that's what I think of when I think of service is my time to give back to the veterans and help them.
Shout outs to our vets and welcome home to those who got home from Afghanistan.
100%.
Real estate.
Yeah, I see you put that here. Real estate. What does that mean to me right now? No sleep, craziness, and getting screamed at last night by another agent.
What? Wait, are you going to share? You just can't put that out there to us.
I'll share. Let's get it.
You can't just put that out there and not share the story. I'm just telling you that's not going to work.
So I'm a real estate agent here in Oshkosh. And last night I wrote an offer for a buyer. And I submitted it to their agent at 8 o'clock. And we might have only given them a few hours to respond. Not days, not overnight, a few hours.
On a Friday?
On a Friday night at 8 o'clock.
Woo.
Yeah.
You were pressing buttons.
Got to get the job done for my buyers. And I'll think outside the box. So that's what I do.
Okay.
And guess what? We got an accepted offer.
Oh.
There we go.
Then you know what? That other agent who might have been annoyed, politely, we'll use that term.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, annoyed. They probably should be celebrating.
They were afterwards, but they weren't at the beginning because apparently their sellers like to go to bed early.
Oh.
They're older. I get it. I respect it, but I got to do what I got to do for my buyers, and that's what I do. I go that extra mile or I get creative. But yeah, real estate, it's crazy. No sleeping. 12, 14, 16-hour days. It's nuts.
That sounds like you almost need a reality show, like instead of $1 Million Listing, like Kosh listings.
I'm in. We can. Oh, I don't know if the camera people can keep up though.
They can't keep up. Can you share with us a little bit? I mean, because there's been a lot of conversation, and like I think this is a super interesting topic. Like, there's been a lot of conversation about what the market is and how you can't, like, you got to be ready. Like, you basically got to sell your house first before you ever start looking for a house because things are selling and buying so quickly. Or no, you got to buy a house before you sell your house, basically, because it selling as quickly. Is all this accurate? And what's really going on out there?
Yeah. So you played with dominoes when you were a kid.
Yes.
You'd line up 100 of them, knock one over on accident, and they all go falling down. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's what's happening in the real estate business right now. A lot of dominoes took place. So the first one is the largest generation of people entering the buying market is the millennials. This is the first time that a generation size came into the market to buy houses. They're buying them now. In the last 2 years, this is their first wave into home ownership. They're of the age now where they have, the means and the big boy and girl jobs. So they're buying houses now for their families, which is great. But unfortunately, because of other dominoes that we'll talk about in a second, it caused this domino effect. So then we get into the housing market inventory shortages. Right now across the country, we're about 3.5 to 4 million homes short. And
of demand,
yes. And those come from new construction. And then we throw in what happened during COVID when everybody stopped. A lot of those tradespeople went out and got other jobs. They got COVID jobs, basically, factory jobs, things that were still going so they could make a means for their families. And I respect that.
Right.
They're not coming back to building homes because if you don't work in the trades, let me tell you, I get appreciation for all the tradespeople out there because that's hard work.
Right.
And sometimes there's easier work, making the same money or better money or benefits. A lot of tradespeople are self-employed.
Right.
So now go get a job at places like Oshkosh Corp or Bemis where you get insurance. Holy cow, that's a concept people just don't understand because a lot of us take it for granted.
Right, because insurance ain't cheap.
No.
Healthcare is expensive.
And that's a whole nother podcast. So we have that domino going in with the largest generation buying homes. Now we have the home shortage. Well, then you also couple that with the lowest interest rates ever seen. I mean, the interest rates right now are near zero. So you couple all those things together. Money's cheap. So the buyer that's looking at a $200,000 house 3 years ago is now buying a $350,000 to $400,000 house for the same monthly payment. And so you're just not sure how fast you can get in the market. And then sellers, like you said, they're afraid to buy a house because they're afraid to be able to get one and then not list theirs. And it's a domino. It's craziness going on.
I want to go back to, because I'm always fascinated with right now the conversation around the workforce and people. Why is there this shortage? Why are these, where are these people?
Right.
Right. And I keep, you hear all these people talk about, well, the $300. And I'm just like, yeah, you don't even know anyone unemployed. So what are you talking about? Just quit. That's bogus. Yep. That's not what happened. This is a whole series of things that have been happening since the 80s and 90s. They told us back in the 80s and 90s when these baby boomers start retiring, we're going to have a huge shortage of workers. And I think what also happened is those people who when they had the crash of 2008, I think those people some people that would have retired didn't. They prolonged it, so that kept them in the market longer. But then I think this new environment with COVID made a lot of people who were ready, and the fact that the baby boomers is the most wealthy generation of Americans that has been in existence, say, now it's time to retire. And a lot are retiring all in droves.
They're pulling the plug quickly.
Right.
Quickly.
And this adds a whole new element with you talking about the trades people where, so they probably couldn't do their trade during the shutdown because couldn't get in people's homes. People didn't want people in their homes. You're not supposed to do this, but you got to keep living.
Yep.
So you moved on to other opportunities and you didn't go back. And I think that's also a conversation with a lot of other things where people are like, why are these other places shutting down? Why can't you get workers? And I keep saying we as Americans have been telling our service industry for a long time, don't complain about your wages, go out there and get a better job. Well, I think there's been a lot of people that went and got a better job.
Bingo.
And now you want to complain.
Right. And it's I want to give hats off to the Oshkosh Herald because they posted a opportunities thing for employers to find short term, like 6 hours a week type of work.
Right. And
they're targeting the retirees. Because you're right. The baby boomers pulling the plug. They're going out. And, and that's going to be an issue. So unless we go after those retirees and try and entice them, but not for 40 hours a week because they don't want to work 40 hours a week.
Right.
But maybe they'll do 10 hours. And we can plug and play some places in those people. Those retirees can come out there and help offset some of that shortage.
Right. Because they don't want to be, look, most of them still got to drive. They want to keep busy.
Yeah.
They're not old.
Right. They're still workable.
They're very workable.
They're active, and that's how they stay young too, is by being active.
That's right.
Because the first thing we do once we stop being active, we get old. You and I, if we stop being active tomorrow, we'd be old.
It's never going to happen in my lifetime.
I hear you, man. I hear you. But yeah, then the other thing is with the housing market too is these millennials, their parents, the baby boomers, have done well for themselves in the past 5 to 6 years in investments because look at the stock market.
Right.
So they're helping their kids purchase their homes. And that's where you're getting these cash buyers on these $150,000 homes. It's because mom and dad are close or at retirement age, or they're close enough that the penalty isn't big. They're pulling the money out and they're giving it to their kids. So lots of things. It's not one or two things. Some people want to say in the real estate world, it's one or two things that have made this market. It's a domino effect, and that's why you can't just shift it.
All right.
So, I would love to say that the market's going to go back to being a buyer's market. It's not. And if you do the math and look at the last buyer's market compared to the seller's market right now,
right,
it's actually cheaper to own a home right now if you're financing because the loan rates are much lower and you're paying those for 30 years.
Right.
So the price of the house may be higher now,
right,
but the cost of money is much cheaper. Now, if you're paying cash for a house, yeah, right now sucks.
But if you're financing, it's the right time.
It's the right time right now. Don't be shy.
What advice do you have for those people out there in the market?
Know what you're looking for. Have a dream list, but then have a reality list. When I sit down with my buyers, I have them write me up the dream list, and then I have them write up the reality list. And when we find a house that hits the reality list, I have a very direct conversation with them saying, hey, this hits your reality list. Let's buy this house. But have patience. I know it gets frustrating. I worked, actually 2 weeks ago, I just closed with a buyer that I was working with since January. We wrote 20 offers on other homes around Oshkosh.
Did you just say 20?
Bruh.
20
offers.
20 offers. I don't even know how many homes we looked at because it's one of those situations I stopped counting. And these kids, I love them to death because they stuck with it. There was times where they'd text me and say, Mike, we're not looking for a week. I understand that they got fatigued, but they stuck with the plan. They trusted me, and I kept them informed on the plan. We kept pushing away, and yeah, but so my advice is have patience, Be very honest with your real estate agent. Tell them what you're really looking for. Don't hold back. Don't hide things, and just be educated about where you're looking. If you don't want to live near a school, stop looking at houses around a school area. If you want to live out in the country, look out in the country. Just don't look everywhere.
Okay. Good advice. I love this conversation. Well, no, I just think, because it's just one of those things. I don't think, there's a lot of rumors or people make a lot of assumptions about what's happening out there in the market.
Yeah.
And it's nice to actually get formally informed by a professional.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, but yeah, it's a domino effect. It's not one or two things. And I hate to break the myth. The market's not going to drop tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what will be happening you're going to see in the next 6 months, the craziness of houses selling in hours. That's going to slow down. But the prices aren't coming back down because supply and demand drive that. And like I said, we're 3.5 million homes behind in the supply across the country.
So the prices are going to be what the prices are going to be.
This is the new market.
Okay.
And the appraisals match it. We've had homes get appraised for over 1.5 years now in this new market, and they're appraising out. I don't see shortages. I don't see the appraisals coming in short. So this is the new market. We just have to accept it.
Okay. That's good stuff. Michael, I think what we're going to do is if anyone likes what Mike is talking about and would like to work with him, I think we're going to make sure that we put his business info in the podcast notes. What is the name of your business?
It's my real estate business is Home by Bennett with Bizer Realty out of Winneconne.
Okay. Do you primarily focus in Winneconne, or do you?
No, we have 4 offices. We have an office right here on Witzel Avenue in Oshkosh. My focus is Oshkosh to Appleton, the Fox Valley.
Got it. Okay. Next segment. Kosh Hidden Gems. What's a hidden gem here in Oshkosh that that you enjoy that others might not know about or might not think about it or know its true value?
Well, I talked about it a little earlier. It's the volunteer organizations like Rotary and Kiwanis that are part of Oshkosh. I was a member of Kiwanis for many years, and there's a lot of things that the volunteer organizations do that most people don't realize behind the scenes, raising money for iPads for autistic children or donating $50,000 last year with the new dog contest that Kiwanis is putting on right now to organizations and the animal shelters and stuff like that. You see the same people at all the same events. And unfortunately, over the 15 years that I've been volunteering in Oshkosh, you don't see a lot of new faces. And so that's why I'm saying it's a hidden gem, because it's a small group of hundreds of people, but we're in a city of 70,000. And so I think I really think that that's my hidden gem for the cities, because there's some really powerful groups doing some really good things around Oshkosh.
I think that's a call to action out there. My Kosh listeners, I think that's a call to action. If you aren't already getting involved, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to find that organization that represents things you value.
Yeah, follow your passion. That's whenever somebody asks me what they should do or what groups they should join, we have a conversation about what their passions are. My passions are mentoring youth and military. So I spend my time in groups that give back to the youth or that give back to the military. Those are my 2 passions, and that's why I organize with those groups themselves. But if you have a different passion, find groups out there. There's a group for everybody's passion. And if there's not, start one. Simple as that.
Bruh.
That's true.
Start one. Let's go.
Hey, no ifs, ands, or buts. Let me just send a shout out there to all of those organizations, all those nonprofits out there doing wonderful things for our residents of Oshkosh and the surrounding Fox cities. Hey, and if any of you would like to be a guest here on the Kosh and let us know about your organization, I would love to have you, and the listeners would love to hear from you. So don't hesitate. Email me at askthekosh@gmail.com. Once again, askthekosh@gmail.com. All right. What does the Kosh need?
The Kosh needs more transparency.
Ooh.
Bruh.
I don't even know what that. I don't know what to do with that. Break that. Wait. Break that down.
Well, there's some things around the city. I look back at last year's school district and some of the things that the previous superintendent was doing, possibly to get referendums passed and stuff like that just needs more transparency. Okay. And I'll speak to the district because I volunteered in the Oshkosh School District for almost 20 years mentoring youth.
Okay.
And many times the district wouldn't open their doors publicly to a subject, be it, teen suicides, drug use, alcoholism, any of those types of things. There wasn't a lot of transparency in those doors. They've gotten better. Tip of the cap to them for getting better. But we as a community, more transparency. We need more openness. I think that the community senses that, and we've seen that with a previous guest of yours, of the new county executive, John Damel. John's platform is transparency. And I think that was a breath of fresh air for a lot of people, and that's why he's sitting where he is now. So I think the community wants that, but people are afraid to ask for it because it can be scary. Because sometimes with transparency, you're going to hear and see things you didn't want to.
You can't handle the truth.
100%. I sit on the line at 3 a.m. with soldiers pointing guns at me.
Yeah, I couldn't resist that one.
I love it. But that's the fact. And I know it's deeper than most people want to hear. And, some people are going to shake their heads at me for saying it. But we're getting better. We are. We've made a lot of strides as a community. But we need more. We need more transparency. Recently, I was talking with some people about, September 11th and the 20th anniversary. And instead of talking about the day, we talked about September 12th and what that meant to everybody. There was a lot of bringing together and community and transparency of what we needed as a country. And so I relate that is the transparency. It's a deep conversation. It can bring some scary things to light, but it'll bring more good than anything. So I think that's to me what I think.
I like that. I like the concept of transparency. That being said, if we're going to do it, I want all in on transparency. I don't want leveraged or biased transparency. And what I mean by that is I don't want transparency on the things that the people in power want to be transparent about.
Right.
I want it on it all.
100%.
And whether it hurts your feelings or not. And for all people, even for the disenfranchised, for those who may not be blessed with financial means, if we're going to do it, let's do it and expose it for what it is. And if we're going to talk about our societal sins, our political sins, let's get it at educational sins,
100%.
Whatever that is, let's all come to the table and understand that's what we're talking about. Like I did, because that's when people say transparency, a lot of times to me, they don't truly mean transparency. It's a biased transparency. It's a transparency on what they want to reveal that's going to allow them to shape their agenda.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying is it has to be all transparent. You need 100% transparency at every level of every social gathering, group, whatever. Agree. But again, you're going to hear and see things you may not want to. You're afraid to.
And so I'm going to give you the perfect, and I'm going to push the button on this one. Critical race theory.
Yep.
Transparency. Whether you realize it or not, that is about transparency. So all of the people who out there are like, I want this and that to be transparent, but you're like, but I don't want no critical race theory taught in the schools to the kids. If it's history, and be transparent about this nation's history.
Right, 100%. Again, we may not all agree. Having transparency does not mean we all have to agree. Some of my closest friends and I do not have the same beliefs or thoughts, but they're my best friends, they're my village, they're my world. But we get along.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
just understand.
Yes. Well, we should, because we're at the end of the day, fundamentally, we are humans.
Yep.
We share society. We share society together. I don't know many people who really aren't chasing the same things amongst all of us. We may have different points of views, but as residents, as citizens, as people who live in the Kosh and surrounding areas, I don't know anyone who just doesn't want a decent job, a car that runs, good schools for the kids, affordable housing or a nice housing, safety, and cool things to do in the area.
Yep.
Like I think the list is that's fundamentally the basics.
I agree. And again, it's just if we all come together and we all accept what we're going to hear and agree to have communication. So transparency and communication go hands in hand. So you can't have transparency without communication. You can't have communication without transparency.
Facts. I feel you.
Bruh.
Sorry to get deep on you on there.
Oh. I don't know. I might have took a corner that you might not have expected, but that's okay. That's what the Kosh is for.
Yeah.
At least we have these conversations out in the open. Next segment, the Naughty Nice Corner. Who would you like to nominate to the Naughty or Nice?
Well, I'm going to put in here the Nice Heroes Corner and give a hats off to all school guidance counselors.
Ooh. I like that.
You know, right now, school has been, I don't even know what to describe the last 2 years of what school has been like. And these guidance counselors are trying to keep their kids in good emotional spaces, keep them up to date on their studies, and putting in the time, sacrifices their families. I got a lot of close friends that are guidance counselors around the Oshkosh School District. So, big shout out to all of them and being able to put this together and keep the schools moving forward. They're to me, a lot of times, the silent hero. The teacher gets a lot of recognition. The admins get a lot of recognition. It's really the guidance counselors keeping the wheels on the bus. No pun intended.
Shout out to the guidance counselors. I couldn't agree more. And I'd just like to shout out to all of those working in those educational fields. There's nothing easy about those environments right now. And they're taking care of our most valuable resources.
100%.
So, all right. So, time for the topic of the week. All right, this is the topic that our guest gets to choose, and the topic of the week is the Vietnam Memorial Wall coming to Oshkosh. Mike, what would you like to share?
Yes, sir. Well, as the 6th District Commander for the Sons of American Legion, I am really excited to announce that the AVTT Memorial Wall, which is their technical name, it's the Vietnam Memorial Traveling Wall, is coming to Oshkosh in 2 weeks, October 6th, and it's going to be on display October 7th through the 10th. Now, this is an 80% replica of the wall in Washington, D.C.
That's cool. That's a really cool memorial.
It is. If you can't get there, this is the next best thing because it's an 80% replica. We put it up at Sunnyview Expo Center in the building because we want to make sure it's weather protected so people can view it whenever they want, and it's all handicap accessible, wheelchair accessible, walker accessible. Our group, not the Sons of American Legion, but my group of private citizens through different organizations have been bringing this wall here to Oshkosh for 21 years.
21 years for real?
Yeah, it was actually ironic. 5 years ago, the driver looked at us and said, hey, you guys have been bringing the wall here every 4 years. And again, it's a core group of 8 of us through different organizations that have been bringing this wall. And we looked at each other and we're like, what do you mean? He goes, every 4th year, we're bringing the wall to Oshkosh. And we didn't do that on purpose. Completely coincidental. Again, different organizations have been bringing the wall here. It just happened that every 4th year. So then we're like, okay, well, now we got to stay on track. And we don't do it every year for a couple of reasons. One, fundraising. It's a very expensive event to put on, and
Okay.
we do private fundraising for it. But 2 is it's an important and a very impactful event. But if you do it every year, I think you take away from it. It's one of those things you don't want to overdo. So we really focused on now keeping it every 4th year. it was supposed to be here last year. Obviously, everybody knows what happened in the world last year, so we pushed it to this year. So it's been 21 years that we've been bringing the wall here. So this will be our 5th time of bringing the Vietnam Wall. If you're familiar with the Sunnyview Expo Center, it takes up the entire expo.
Wow.
Tip to tip, it's 391 feet long, and it's panels. So they're metal panels. And the really cool thing is you can actually go there and shadow a name like you would in Washington, D.C. on the granite wall. So the wall in Washington, D.C., if people aren't familiar with it, it's all granite. And you can go up there with a pencil and piece of paper, and you can shadow over a name, and the name comes through on the paper. You can do the same thing at this wall. It's all laser scribed metal panels. So you can walk up and shadow names on paper for people. And to me, this is really important. My uncle was in Vietnam. He was shot and wounded in Vietnam, got a Purple Heart for Vietnam. So welcoming home Vietnam vets and while giving them an opportunity to have a safe place to go is really important to me.
Can't stress that enough because the welcome home for a lot of our Vietnam vets the first time wasn't that good.
No. And, a lot of vets, my uncle will not come to the wall. He knows what I do. He knows I bring this wall to Oshkosh, and I can't get him to come to see the wall. Every time I bring the wall, the week before, I go down to Milwaukee and take him out to dinner, and I ask him, say, hey, the wall's coming next week. Do you want to come see it? And I'll offer to drive. I've offered to send limos, whole 9 yards. He won't do it. He still has nightmares to this day. So it's really a challenge. And our mission, every time we bring the wall, and this may sound kind of silly for people, but our mission is to impact one veteran. And we do this for one veteran, and people look at us and like, what do you mean you put on this whole thing for one? Yeah, because that's how important it is for those vets. Yes. Thankfully and luckily, we impact a lot of vets every time. Like our mission's always one because that's to us that's all that matters. But we're open 20. So the wall comes in on October 6th. The escort is going to take place from the courthouse to Sunnyview Expo Center. It'll be under color guard and motorcycle escort, arriving at the Sunnyview Expo Center at about 6:30 to 6:45 on Wednesday night. And then Thursday, we do setup from 9 a.m. till about 2 p.m. And then the wall opens publicly at 3 p.m. And the wall will remain open. Sunnyview Expo Center will remain open 24 hours a day until Sunday, October 10th at noon when we have our closing ceremonies and then the takedown of the wall.
That's amazing.
Yes, and we have security and personnel at the wall 24/7 to help. We're there as much or as little as somebody wants us there. We sit in our little area away from the wall, and we'll have vets that come in and don't want to be bothered, don't want to be talked to anybody. They do what they got to do. At night, we turn the lights down to the security level lights, so it's personal, private. You can be off on the wall on your own, and we're just going to be there.
I think that's amazing that you offer it 24 hours a day, because people have to find their way.
Yes.
To how they want to connect with it, and that doesn't just go for veterans. That goes for those who've had family members who served in that conflict.
Yep, and it's not even just for that conflict now.
Yes,
we have vets and family members that come from all conflicts. Current conflicts, previous conflicts, older conflicts, and they come because it's a beacon. The Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. is a beacon. This wall becomes that symbol, and we honor that. And it is very important to protect that. And the other members of our group that have been bringing the wall here, they have family on the wall. They have a name on the wall. That's their brother. And so it's very emotional and meaningful for us. We're attached to this. It's not something we're doing just to do. It's something we're doing because we're personally attached to it, emotionally attached to it.
All right. First of all, I'd like to send a shout out to Professor Emmett Sandberg and his conflict and memorial class at UW Oshkosh. Hey, this sounds like something that the students might need to go check out. So I want to try to make that connection in some kind of capacity. And then, Mike, there was something you talked about, like there's donations. If a person, how does, because somebody that's listening out there, one of the Kosh listeners, may just be like, I want to support that. That's something I want to be about. How do they support this?
They can contact me directly, and we'll take donations and put it towards the next wall. Again, we don't do a lot of public fundraising. Our Sons of American Legion squadron does a brat fry on Memorial Day and Labor Day, and every time the wall's coming, the year before, that brat fry is going to go for that. So last year's brat fries all went for fundraising for the wall.
Okay.
We don't allow like corporate sponsoring. There's no sponsorships up on the in the Sunnyview Expo Center. Right. So it's a lot of private, a lot of individual, but they can contact me directly, and we set up the fund through the American Legion, Cook Fuller Post 70 in Oshkosh here.
Okay. We'll make sure that we have contact information inside of the podcast notes. Check that out if you would like to get involved.
And again, it opens October 7th at 3 p.m., runs 24/7 until October 10th, Sunday at noon. And we will have Legion chaplains on site 24 hours a day if there's a veteran that needs to talk to somebody more intense.
We will also make sure that we include those notes inside of there, inside of the podcast notes, because we want to make sure that the people that would like to and need to connect with the memorial have every opportunity to do so. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, look forward to seeing everybody come out to the wall.
Yes. If you get an opportunity, I would highly, highly encourage our community to go out here and support this.
Yes.
This is amazing.
Bring the kids.
It's
a history lesson. I mean, you're talking about history class. This is a history lesson in all itself.
Facts. All right. It's that time. We're going to start winding things down. To all of the Kosh listeners out there, I would like to say thank you. Thank you as always for listening. And we are a work in progress. We are always a work in progress. We are always striving to become better, to do this the right way, because this isn't about me. This is about the Kosh. And I want to do good work, and I want to do right by our community. So please email me at askthekosh@gmail.com. Once again, that is askthekosh@gmail.com. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know if you'd like to be a guest. Share with us if you heard this particular episode. Share your thoughts. We want to continue to get better. This is for our community. All right. Okay. You know what time it is?
What's that time?
It is my favorite time, and that is shout out time. All right. There is no better time in the show than when we get to let the people know that we are thinking about you. We got to give the shout out. So, Mike, it is your time to give those shout outs. Look, somebody asked me one time, how many shout outs can I give? As many as you can think of.
All right. Well, right now, if I can pull it up, I can't get it up, I want to give a shout out to UW Oshkosh, the athletic coaches. I sent an email to them earlier this week asking for volunteers to help set up and take down the Vietnam Wall. Oh. And, man, without question, the volleyball coach said we'll have 20 kids there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
hands down.
It is awesome. So shout out to UW Oshkosh Athletics and the coaches that were emailing me back at 11 o'clock at night.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you right now, if you go ahead, shout out to Coach Cerrone, the football coach. If you reach out to Coach Cerrone, who is an Air Force veteran, if you reach out to him, I know them football players will be out there. No ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Yep, they were there 5 years ago. They'll be there again, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. That is fantastic.
Yeah, that's my shout out for the show, though. It's really just hats off to them for stepping up and volunteering their kids.
Okay, you only got one shout out?
Right now that's I want to give them their due.
Gonna give them their due. I appreciate that. I'm sure they appreciate that too. All right. My shout outs for this week. Shout out to the wife. Thank you, baby. Shout out to the wife because she allows me to do this podcast in our dining room. I know a lot of people.
There's the truth.
Hey, she don't even get mad at me about it. So I just love her. That is my support system. That is my love of my life. Thank you, baby. To shout out to the ladies of UPS. There's a good group of ladies at UPS who load the trucks in the morning, who work hard, who make these things happen, who support your Amazon packages.
Yeah, let's go.
So shout out to those ladies. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to Jamie Williams. All right, so Jamie Williams is a young lady who I'm working with currently. She I don't know if she currently or in the past worked at Zeroni's, but she is helping me get the Kosh gear together. So in the future, we are looking at some of the Kosh t-shirts and some of the Kosh hats. I'm hoping for support from the community. This really isn't a money-making effort as much as it is a effort to just get the word out there. I want more people, more listeners to hear the Kosh. I want us to connect more and hear these messages from people in our community.
Hey, I want to reserve a really small 2X.
Yeah, I've seen that before. So that is what that S2XL stands for.
No,
small
man.
2X. I always was wondering what that stood for. Now I understand.
Hey, the chili. I'm telling you, we go back to the chili. You don't become a 2X by accident.
You consider it reserved.
Yeah.
All right. So there will be more information about that in the future. Keep your eyes. Look for our look on Facebook on the Kosh Facebook website. We will have more information about that. But if you are interested in the Kosh hat or the Kosh t-shirt, please let me know. I'm gonna because we don't make money and I'm funding this myself. I would like to do pre-orders so I can just make sure that I don't overorder or do anything like that. So if you have any interest whatsoever, please feel free to email askthekosh@gmail.com. Let me know what you would like, the hat, or if you would like a t-shirt in that size. All right. Another shout out. I'd like to shout out the Herd. Herd. I need y'all to do what the Bucks did.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. I need y'all to handle y'all business. I am so excited about the Herd season. I can't wait to get back into the arena to get in them seats. I am a season ticket holder, and I love Herd games.
Bucks and 6. Herd and 6.
Herd and 6. So excited about that. Shout out to all of the people over at the arena and to the Herd team itself. We appreciate you. Can't wait for y'all to get started again. All right, and one more shout out to some friends. I saw some friends on how we all get information nowadays. I saw some friends who actually there was a proposal. So shout out to Wilt and Brandy. Congratulations on your proposal. That is amazing and awesome. Can't celebrate it enough. All right. So last thing, parting words of wisdom.
Well, Timber, you talked about it earlier when I was talking about volunteering, and actually I had written it down before you even said it, so it was kind of ironic. But my parting words of wisdom for everybody is a challenge. It's a challenge in the next 30 days to volunteer 1 hour of your time at any group or organization that follows your passion. So 1 hour in 30 days is my challenge to your listeners.
All right. I think that is a fair challenge. All right. Thank you all, Kosh listeners, for tuning in. We appreciate you. I think this episode was fire. Mike, how you feeling over there?
Man, I'm pumped up for the rest of the day. Let's do this again.
Yes. The Kosh.